Oh, hello everybody, Steve here at Winterbourne Workshop. Today on the lathe I've got, well, I'm not sure really, a little bit of spalted in it. Could be beech, could be sycamore. I'm favouring sycamore, but I'll find out when I get into it a little bit more. So yeah, so it's a crotch piece. So there's the start of the crotch, just there. I'm going to leave it this shape, see what it looks like. You've got a nice little bit of figuring coming through here, which I'm hoping will go in a bit. Little crack here, but I'm not too concerned about that. So what we'll do is measure it up. I think I can probably get a 6-inch bowl, maybe a little bit more. Let's have a look. Right, fire the lathe up. That's higher than that. Just cinch it up a bit. Feels reasonably secure, so we'll see how we go without tailstock support on that. Let me just change my tool rest. It's got a 9-inch one on here. Right. Something more the size we want. That's a bit lower on this end than that is on that end. And I'm going to use a 1/2-inch hole gouge. A little bit unbalanced there. 400. Whee! I'm going to pull a curtain across here. Still can't really see what it is. Sycamore or beech, one or the other. Let's have a look, get a bit closer. What I try and do with these unbalanced pieces is just stick to one pivot point. Do a scoop and cut. Needs to work because I've got the wrist secure on the rest. veering towards beech. Looking that way. Whatever it is, it's going to be nice. Yeah, definitely beech. Right, so I'm going to attack it from the end here so I can actually see the profile of it. When you're coming in from the side, all you're seeing is hit and miss. But when you're coming from the end, you can see it better. And I don't really want to get rid of all of that. I just want to maybe take it down to about ½ an inch. Bearing in mind the top is quite flat, so it's going to be fairly true. So let's turn the tool rest a little bit more square onto where I'm cutting. Alright, have a look at that. Yeah, definitely beech. Definitely. So I'm making some inroads into this side now, which is good. And I'm almost down to where I want to be on this edge. So yeah, things are progressing well. A bit more speed on it. 540. Yeah, I think I want to come in enough to start getting rid of this bark. I think I might leave a little bead around here. I think it looks quite attractive. I can still come in a bit more off the top. So let's get rid of this bark. Almost. So what I think I'll do is actually leave it as is, and I'll sand this away because it's going to come off eventually. I'll chip it away with the chisel first and then sand it. So what I need to do now is get myself a foot. I think I'm going to use the step jaws, the Vic Mark step jaws. So let's get that sized up. Ringing up. It's already there. Perfect. Get a spindle gauge and just go in. with these step jaws you don't really need a dovetail. As long as you've got that slight undercut there. Oh, look at that, look. Pulled out just there. I'm going to need to go a little bit deeper. Excuse me. Right, well that's a bit better. I think we can probably clean that up with a bit of a scrape. Be really careful there, you don't catch your wrist on that bit flying around there. Looks like. And that's actually cleaned up really well. There's no point in trying to attempt to scrape these wings. I can do them with a bit of hand sanding. I've got tear out there and I've got tear out here, which is a shame. So that punky bit there obviously doesn't like the scraper, so let's go in with a small 3/8 bowl gouge. See if that will clean it up a bit. And see if we can get a bit more speed, because that will help. Very fine cut. And we'll take a look at that. So that's cleaned that up really well. So let's see if we can't do the same for the bottom. Look at that. And that's cleaned it up nicely too. Just a tiny bit of tear out there, but I'll see if I can't get that with the sanding. Right, so let's get a chisel and get this bark off now. Sand that by hand. Lovely. Right. Now, ready for sanding. We've got to be a bit careful of what we're touching and what we're not. So I'll start off at 120 and work my way. I know they're just a little bit smaller. Fingers crossed. Yeah, that'll go on there. Beautiful. Tighten that up. Right. So we've got an outline, a reasonable outline of the bowl, but I think probably what we need to do is just mark that up. I want the inside of the bowl to go, which is probably going to be about there. So I can leave a rim around here. Just take this in a bit, just undercut it a bit. We'll do that first. We'll just undercut to the rim. Let me get the tool rest out of the way. We'll take a look at that. So the wall thickness is quite good. I'm kind of governed by this bit, which is the thinnest bit, and just slightly emerging here with that little rim. So I can just clean that rim up. Use a slightly less aggressive gauge for that. Turn that over. Right, I think we're ready for some sanding. So it's going to be the same again. Bit of machine sanding, bit of hand sanding. So we'll go in at 120 in the middle. Slow that down. Well, give it a go on that. So it really is quite pleasing. And yes, it is definitely beech. And lovely spalting coming through there. You can see the flecks of the beech running around. So, next thing to do is get a finish on it. And it's not going to be a polish, it'll be an oil of some sort. So I'll see you in a minute when I'm set up for that. So for this I'm going to go for some Holtz & Hart special varnish, which is not a varnish as I've mentioned before. It's more like a wax oil, but it's not a wax oil. But it does bring out the colour and the pattern in the wood, which is rather lovely. I was certainly soaking it up. As I said, that I cut and prepared this about probably 4 years ago And I've got a little shed attached to the back of the garage here, and that's been sat there, and I'd forgotten about it actually. I'm pretty sure I've got another piece in there, the other half of this crotch. Some bits are soaking it up quicker than others, which would be those spalted bits, a little bit softer, although not too difficult to turn, which is good. Spalting can cause you problems. I found the worst one, but it can be really attractive, is silver birch. There's like 2 days between it being good and not good. It turns from wood to sponge. Well, there you go. I rather like that. I'm going to let that dry off and harden up, and then I'll probably put another coat on. Take that indoors in the warm. Yeah, very, very pleased with that. Well, look, thanks for watching, guys. If you could give us a thumbs up, subscribe and a share, that would be amazing. I like the side profile of things like this. When it sits on a shelf, it kind of looks quite attractive, I think. And about the right proportions. Oh. See you again another time.